Going to start competition, round 1.
Round
First diver
1.
on board, Selina.
Jacob.
Five, 4.5, 5.5, 5.5.
4, 5, 5.
Audrey.
Thomas. Five and a half, 6, 6, 4.5, 5
6.5, 7.5, 6.5, 7, 7. Aiden.
Six, 7, 6.5, 6, 6.5.
5.5, 6, 5.5, 6, 6. Rita.
Six and a half, 6, 7,
6,
7.
5.5, 6, 5.5, 5. Kayla.
Seven, 6, 7, 7, 6.5. Kirill.
Four and a half, 5, 5, 5, 5.5. Neha.
7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 7, 7.5. Nahuel.
Four and a half, 5.5, 5, 5, 5. Mariana.
6, 7, 6.5, 5.5, 6. Lucas.
Six and a half, 7, 7, 7, 7.5. Marta.
5, 5.5, 6, 5.5, 5.5. Leo.
From all judges, 6. Juliana.
6, 5, 5, 6, 6. Lars.
Five, 4, 4.5, 4, 4.5.
6, 6.5, 7, 6,
Wicket.
6. Carter. 7,
5 and a half, 6, 6, 5 and a half, 6 and a half.
Person.
Stella.
Four and a half, four and a half. Pietro.
6 and a half, 7 and a half, 7, 7, 7. Mia. Six, 6, 6, 5 and a half, 6. Eva.
6, 7, 7, 6, 6. Brekken.
7 and a half, 7, 7, 7 and a half, 7 and a half. Lodovica.
5 and a half, 4 and a half, 4 and a half, 4 and a half, 5. Victor.
5 and a half, 6, 5, 5, 5 and a half. Dorota.
6, 5, 6, 5 and a half, 6. Rasmus.
6, 6, 5 and a half, 6, 5.
6 and a half,
Thea.
7, 7, 6 and a half, 7. Gabrielle.
5, 5 and a half, 5 and a half, 6, 5 and a half. Chloe.
5 and a half, 4 and a half, 6, 5, 5 and a half. Jasper.
6, 6, 5, 5 and a half, 6 and a half.
4 and a half, 4 and a
Inadia.
half, 4 and a half, 4, 4 and a half. Andrew. 6 and a half, 7, 6 and a half, 6, 6 and a half. Martinez.
7, 7, 6 and a half, 7, 7 and a half. Elizabeth. Elizabeth. Elizabeth Hof.
7 and a half, 7, 8, 7 and a half.
Elizabeth Hof, Gezelschap Stoepenclub. Elise.
5.5, 6, 6, 5, 5. Fabian.
5.5, 5, 5.5, 5, 5.5. Sarah.
4.5, 4.5, 5, 5, 5.5. Round 2, Jacob.
7, 7, 6, 6.5, 6.5. Vera.
5, 5.5, 5.5, 6.5, 6. Thomas.
6, 6, 6.5, 6.5, 6.5. Georgiana.
4, 4.5, 5, 4.5, 4.5. Henry.
5, 4.5, 4.5, 5, 5. Round 2, Selena.
6, 6, 6.5, 5, 5.5. Gertas.
5.5, 4.5, 4, 5, 5.5. Audrey.
6, 6.5, 5.5, 5.5, 5. Erik.
6.5, 6.5, 6, 6.5, 6. Aiden.
6.5, 5.5, 5.5, 5.5, 6. Kirill.
6, 5.5, 6, 6, 5.5. Ita.
6, 7, 6.5, 6, 6. Nahuel.
7, 7, 6.5, 6.5, 7. Kayla.
7, 7.5, 7.5, 6, 7. Lucas.
3.5, 4, 4, 4.5, 4.5. Neha.
6.5, 6, 6.5, 6, 6.5. Leo.
5, 5, 4.5, 4.5, 5. Mariana.
5.5, 5.5, 5.5, 4.5, 5.5. Lars.
Six, 6.5, 5, 6, 6. Marta.
5.5, 5, 6, 4, 6.5. Carter.
Six, 6, 5, 5.5, 6. Juliana.
5.5, 5.5, 6, 5, 5. Bryson.
5.5, 4, 5, 5, 4.5. Dikke.
5, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 5.5. Pietro.
6, 6.5, 6, 6, 6. Stella.
6, 6.5, 7, 6, 7. Brekken.
6, 7, 7, 6.5, 7.5. Mia. 5.5, 5.5, 5.5, 5, 5.5.
6. Victor.
Eva.
4.5, 4.5, 5.5, 5, 4. Rasmus. 6.5, 7, 7, 6.5, 7. Gabriel. 6.5, 7, 6.5, 6, 7. Jasper. 4, 5, 5.5, 4, 4.5. Andrew. 5, 6.5, 7, 6, 6.5. Martinos. Eight, 7.5, 7.5, 8.5, 8. Kom op. Five and a half, 6, 6, 5.5. Fabian. Six, 6.5, 6.5, 5.5, 6. Jacob. Five, 6, 5, 5.5, 5. Thomas. Five and a half, 6.5, 5, 5.5. Henry. Six, 7, 7, 7.5, 6. Gertas. Four and a half, 6.5, 5.5, 4, 5. Erik. Six and a half, 6, 7, 6, 6.5. Irene. Five and a half, 6.5, 6.5, 5.5, 6. Nahuel. 7,5, 7,5, 7,5, 7, 7,5. Lucas. All judges 3. Leo. Six, 6, 5,5, 4,5, 6,5. Lars. Six and a half, 7, 6,5, 7. Carter. Four and a half, 4, 4, 4, 4. Bryson. Five, 4 and a half, 5, 4 and a half, 4 and a half. Pietro. Six, 6 and a half, 5 and a half, 6, 5. Brecken. Four and a half, 4, 5, 4 and a half, 6. Victor. Five, 5 and a half, 5, 4 and a half, 5. Judges from panel B, please prepare yourself to take your seats. Rasmus. half, 7, 7 and a half, 7 and a half. Gabrielle. Six, 5 and a half, 5 and a half. Jasper. Three and a half, 3 and a half, 4, 3 and a half, 4. Andrew. Six and a half, 7, 6 and a half, 6, 6 and a half. Martinos. All judges 8 and a half. Kom op. Five and a half, 5, 5, 5, 5. Fabian. Four and a half, 5, 5 and a half, 4, 4 and a half. Judges from panel B, please take your seats. Seat 1, Morten Jansen Holtz. Seat 2, Iris de Heer. Seat 3, Leslie Rosa. Round 4, Jacob. Five, 4 and a half, 4 and a half, 4 and a half, 4 and a half. Kom maar. Three and a half, 4 and a half, 3 and a half, 4, 4,5, 5, 4,5, 4,5, 5,5. Recht vast. Six, 5,5, 6,5, 6,5, 6. Erik.
Heb je ook normaal gegeten, Pelle? Pelle, eet je ook normaal of niet? Ontbijt. Ja, bij Pelle moet wel nog een boterham eten, denk ik.
Six, 5,5, 6,5, 6,5, 6. Kirill. Five and a half, 6,5, 6, 6,5, 6,5. Nahuel. Six, 6,5, 6,5, 6,5. Lucas.
Deze wilde ik ook, maar nu hebben jullie allemaal dezelfde kleur.
4, 4, 3,5, 3,5, 2,5. Leo.
En dadelijk dan wisten we weer terug. Dat is gewoon leuk.
6, 6, 6,5, 6,5, 5. Lars. Five, 5,5, 6, 6, 6,5. Carter. Four and a half, 5, 5, 5, 5,5. Bryson. Five, 5, 4,5, 5, 4,5. Pietro. 4,5. Brekken. Five, 4,5, 5,5, 5,5. Victor. Five and a half, 5, 6,5, 6, 5. Rasmus. Six and a half, 7, 7, 7, 7. Gabrielle. Five, 6, 5 and a half, 6 and a half, 6 and a half. Jasper. Five, 6, 5 and a half, 5 and a half, 5. Andrew. Six, 5 and a half, 5 and a half, 6, 5 and a half. Martinez. Seven, 7, 6, 5 and a half, 7. Kom op. Three and a half, 4, 3, 3 and a half, 4 and a half. Fabio. Five and a half, 5, 5 and a half, 6 and a half, 6 and a half. Round 5. Jacob. 6.5, 6, 6.5, 7, 6. Zo maar. Four, 5, 4.5, 4.5, 4.5. Henry. Six, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 6. Rechtas. Five and a half, 6, 5.5, 6, 6. Erik. Six and a half, 6, 6.5, 7, 7. Kirill. All judges 7. Nahuel. Five, 6, 7, 6, 6. Lucas. Four and a half, 5, 5.5, 4.5, 6. Leo. Five and a half, 4, 4, 5, 4.5. Lars. Five and a half, 5.5, 6, 5, 5. Carter. Five, 5, 4.5, 5, 5. Bryson. Four and a half, 4, 4, 4. Pietro. Five, 4.5, 5. Brekken. Five, 5.5, 5.5, 5.5, 5. Victor. Four and a half, 5, 4.5, 5, 4.5. Rasmus. Six and a half, 7, 6.5, 7. Gabriel. Five and a half, 6, 5.5, 5.5. Judges from panel A, please prepare yourself. Jasper.
Hold on, Bert.
Three, 2, 3, 3, 3. Andrew. Six and a half, 6.5, 6.5, 6.5, 7.
Go.
Martinez. Seven and a half, 7, 7.5, 7.5. Kom op. Three and a half, 4, 4, 4, 3.5. Fabian. 5.5, 5.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6. Judges from panel A, please take your seats. Round 6, Jacob. A half, a half, 1.5. Thomas. Four and a half, 4, 4, 4, 4. Henry. Six and a half, 7, 6 and a half, 6 and a half, 6 and a half. Gertos. Four, 5, 3 and a half, 3 and a half, 4 and a half. Erik. Seven, 5, 7, 6 and a half, 7. Kirill. Five and a half, 5 and a half, 4 and a half. Nagel. Six, 5 and a half, 6. Lucas. Five and a half, 5, 6, 5, 5 and a half. Leo. 6.5, 6.5, 6, 6.5, 6.5. Lars. Six, 5.5, 5. Carter. Five and a half, 5, 4.5, 5, 5.5. Bryson. Three and a half, 3, 4, 3.5, 4. Pietro. Three and a half, 3.5, 3, 3, 3.5. Brecken. Six, 6.5, 6.5, 5, 5. Victor. Six, 5.5, 6. Rasmus. Six and a half, 7, 7, 7, 6.5. Gabrielle. Four and a half, 4, 4.5, 5, 4.5. Jasper. Four and a half, 5, 5, 5. Andrew. 6,5, 7, 7, 7,5, 7. Kom op. Three, 2.5, 2.5, 3.5, 3. Fabian. Five and a half, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 5.5. Round 7, Jacob. Three, 2, 1.5, 3, 3. Tona. Four, 4, 5, 4.5, 4. Henry. Five, 5, 4, 4.5, 5. Gertas. Five and a half, 7, 6, 6, 5.5. Erik. Four, 3, 3, 2.5, 4.5. Jullie. Three and a half, 2, 2, 3, 2. Manuel. Six, 7.5, 5.5, 6, 6. Lucas. Two and a half, 1.5, 2, 2, 3. Leo. 4.5, 4.5, 4.5, 3.5, 4.5. Last. Three, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, 4. Carter. Three and a half, 3, 2.5, 3, 3. Bryson. Four, 3.5, 3.5, 4, 3.5. Pietro. Five, 5.5, 5.5, 5.5, 5. Brekken. Five, 4.5, 5, 4, 4. Victor. Five, 5, 5, 5, 4.5. Rasmus. Four, 5.5, 4.5, 3.5, 4.5. Gabriel. Three and a half, 4, 4, 4, 4. Judges from panel B, please be prepared. Jasper. Three and a half, 3, 4, 3, 3. Andrew. Five, 5 and a half, 5 and a half, 5 and a half, 5. Martinez. Six, 6 and a half, 6 and a half, 6, 6 and a half. Kom op. Five and a half, 6, 7, 6, 6. Fabian. Four, 3, 4 and a half, 4. Judges panel B, please take your seats. Round 8, Jacob. Three, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 3. Thomas. Five and a half, 5, 5 and a half, 4 and a half, 5 and a half. Henry. Six, 5, 5 and a half, 6, 5 and a half. Gertas. 2.5, 4, 2.5, 3.5, 2. Erik. Four, 3, 3.5, 4, 3.5. Kirill. Five, 4.5, 5.5, 5, 4.5. Nahuel.
That for you? I don't want. No, don't tell us. Do not tell us.
Five, 6.5, 6, 6, 6. Lucas. Two, 1.5, 1.5. Leo. Two, 2.5, 2, 1.5, 3. Lars. Six, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 6. Carter. Three and a half, 3, 3, 3.5, 3.5. Bryson. Four, 3, 3, 2.5, 3.5. Pietro. 5, 4, 3.5. Trekken. Three and a half, 4, 3, 4, 3.5. Victor. Three and a half, 3, 3, 3, 2. Rasmus. Six, 6, 7, 6, 6.5. Gabriel.
Oh, wij zijn nog net. Wij zijn dus de wedstrijd net voor het goud.
Five, 5, 5, 5, 3.5. Jasper. One and a half, 2, 1, 1.5, 2. Andrew. Six, 6.5, 6, 6, 6.5. Martinez. Six, 7, 5.5, 6.5, 6. Kom op. Three and a half, 3, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5. Fabian. 5, 4, 4, 4.5, 4.5. Round 9, Jacob. Six and a half, 6. Thomas. Four, 3.5, 3, 4.5. Henry. 6, 5.5, 5.5, 6, 6.5. Gertas. Three and a half, 4, 4, 4. Erik. Six, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 5.5. 4. Four, 4.5, 3.5, 3.5, 4. Nagel. Six and a half, 6.5. Lucas. Four, 3.5, 3.5, 4. Leo. 5, 4.5, 5, 3.5. Lars. All judges 7. Carter. Five and a half, 6.5, 6, 6, 6.5. Bryson. One and a half, 2, 1, 1, 1.5. Pietro. Five, 4.5, 4.5, 4, 4. Brekken.
Vrij snel, daar en nu meteen. Maar ik kan er niet zo van.
One and a half, 2, 1.5, 1.5, 2. Victor. Three, 2, 2.5, 1.5, 2. Rasmus. Six and a half, 7. Gabrielle. Four and a half, 5.5, 5, 5, 6. Jasper.
Go Jasper!
Op jou zo?
Andrew. Six and a half, six and a half, 7. Martinez. Seven and a half, 8, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half. Kom op. Two, 2 and a half, 2, 2, 1 and a half. Fabian. Five, 4, 4, 4 and a half, 4 and a half. Round 10, Jacob. Five, 6, 6, 6, 5 and a half. Thomas. Five and a half, 4 and a half, 5 and a half. Henry. Five, 4 and a half, 4, 5, 3. Gertas. Six, 6 and a half, 6 and a half, 6, 6 and a half. Erik. Seven, 6, 7, 6 and a half, 6 and a half. Kirill. Six and a half, 7 and a half, 6 and a half, 6 and a half, 7. Nahuel. 5,5, 6, 6, 6, 5,5. Lucas. Two and a half, 1.5, 1, 2, 2. Leo. Six, 5, 5.5, 6, 5.5. Max. Five and a half, 6, 6, 5.5, 5.5. Carter.
Yeah, Carter!
5.5, 5.5, 4.5, 6, 5.5. Bryson. Four, 4.5, 4.5, 4, 4. Pietro. Five and a half, 5, 5.5, 6, 6. Brecken. Five and a half, 6, 6, 6. Victor. Five, 4.5, 5, 4.5. Rasmus. 4.5, 4, 5, 4.5, 4. Gabriel. Three and a half. Jasper. One and a half, one and a half. Andrew. One, 2.5, 3.5, 3.5. Martinez. All judges 4.5. Kom nog.
Yeah, Connor.
5.5, 5, 5.5, 5.5, 6. Fabian. Two and a half, 3, 2, 2.5, 2.5. This was the last night of this competition. Thank you, judges. Thank you, secretary. Final results. The first 12 will go through to the finals. Martinez, Nahuel, Rasmus, Henry,